Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to watch this how-to video. If your school uses a single sign-on system, this how-to video is not for you. You'll go ahead and contact us at curriculum@gallopade.com. That's just curriculum spelled out at gallopade.com. We'll get you all set up and squared away. But if your school doesn't use a single sign-on system, the first thing we want to do is open up the welcome email that was sent to you. And it'll look just like this. We're going to move right on to step 1, where it will have your quote attached. And now your quote won't say Gallopade International, but will have your school district name and or your school name. And when you go to open up this, when you click the link, it's going to prompt you to enter in your email address, and that needs to be the email address of the person who this email was sent to. So if this was forwarded on to you, just make sure you're putting in the email address that the email was originally sent. So we'll go ahead and click on your quote. And we basically just need this to reference which grades were purchased and how many. Your quote might not look exactly like this, but the general information, it will all be there. We do have a couple different quote formats that we use. This is one of them. And again, we're just using it to reference. So we can go ahead and, for the moment, minimize that down. We're going to go back to the welcome email. We're going to move to step 2, and we're going to click the gallopadecurriculum.com/setup link. It's going to open to this web page, and we're going to move right here to step 2 with the download spreadsheet button, and we'll click that. And your spreadsheet should pop up right down here at the bottom of your browser. That should be true whether you have a Mac or a PC. But again, it should open up right down here. So if you just click it, it'll pop up. And let's go ahead and save as. And it's just good to save it in a location that is easily accessed. For me, that's my desktop. And go ahead and change the name to your school district or your school name. I'm just going to do Gallopade just to simplify it. And then save. Okay, and now this first worksheet, this first tab, is just kind of a breakdown of what each tab is and whether or not it's required. You can see not all tabs are. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to walk you through each one, just sort of a little bit about the information that is needed. So this first tab right here, the school data, it is just general information, your school name, address. If you have the invoice number easily accessible, that you can go ahead and put that here. We'll just use that for internal purposes, but if you don't let that be the thing that holds you up. Form completed. You see it doesn't really have an asterisk. Not necessary, but it is nice to know if we run into a problem within the spreadsheet as we're setting you up, that we can just directly contact you. Down here we have email name and email addresses, phone numbers of specialized people that we might need to contact throughout the school year for if we're doing updates or if there's technical questions. And then moving right along, we're going to move to worksheet number 2, tab number 2, which is teacher users. And this is going to be the teacher or teachers for social studies curriculum. And so we need to make sure that we're getting the social studies teachers information in here. I would like to note that you might have teachers that will be on this tab, and this will be the only tab that they show up on, because the only thing that they purchased was teacher resource or teacher toolbox, and that's okay. You have that information. So we're going to come back over to our quote at this point and just kind of take a look at what we have here. So you can see right here on this quote that it's the Georgia Experience Kindergarten print class set. So this print class set, kindergarten through 2nd grade, does not have student access. Those lower grade levels, just we don't offer QuickBook or Expert Track for. So they will only be teacher resources or teacher toolbox, depending on your state. And so right here, this worksheet, this tab will be the only tab that will need to be filled out for those teachers. Kind of your quote will have a breakdown of what you're getting. And so right here, you can see the expert track assessment system, unless you see that for like students, and it'll be 25 or 30, again, depending on your state, how many is it within the class set. You can see whether or not you did purchase students. If you received this welcome email, you at the very least will need to fill out this first tab. You might have multiple teachers and multiple grades on this spreadsheet. But if you have not purchased any student licenses, so that'll be either Expert Track or ClickBook, you do not move past this tab. You can go ahead and save what you've done. You can go ahead and close it out. That's all you need. And then we're going to move on to step number 3. And so you can access that within the welcome email itself, or again on this web page. And you're going to click the Gallopade secured link and choose from computer, unless you've done it in a Dropbox, which you might have, so just make sure you're picking appropriately. And then pick the link or the spreadsheet that you are sending to us, and go ahead and upload, and you'll get a little green check, you're done, and a thank you, and you're done. We'll get you all set up. At the very longest, I would say 5 business days. You do have student licenses that need to be filled out, or a mixture of just teachers and then students. We're going to move right along over to the admin user worksheet or tab. This is just for QuickBook and or Expert Track. An admin is someone who will oversee everything. So they'll be able to see all of the grades, all of the classes, all of the students. If you don't have somebody like that, or you don't know at the moment if you need that, or you're unsure who to make that person, the admin, it can be added at any point throughout the school year. The teacher has all of the same access as an administrator, minus having access to everything. So a teacher will be able to do all the same things as an administrator within their classes. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the student users tab. And this is probably the most time consuming tab, because this is where all of the students that have QuickBook and or Expert Track, all of their information will need to be filled out. You can see right here that obviously we've got the student's first and last name. If you would like for the student's username to be their school email address, you can put that information here. Username that's not as long, school email addresses are usually pretty long. You can make the user ID something just really short and really simple, but we don't need both of these. So you can choose whichever one you would like. I do want to say that your username does need to be unique to that student. People use their student ID or lunch ID. So however you want to do that, just make sure that it is unique. Your password could be anything you want. Usernames and passwords do need to be lowercase. So if you're sending this information in and it is, you've pulled it from your system and you're just copying and pasting it over, don't waste your time doing it. Just get that information over to us, even if everything is all capital, because we can fix that fairly easily once we get it over. And then the grade, which is fairly simple. And then the next thing is going to be the social studies teacher, because this is social studies curriculum. And then the class ID is going to be the class period. So just make sure that the student matches their social studies teacher, matches the actual class and the other kids within their class. They should all be grouped together. If you have any questions about that, obviously you can contact us. So yeah, once you have finished filling out all this information, I know we went over it really quick. So if you have any questions about any of this, obviously feel free to contact us. My email address is orders@gallopade.com. I hope you have a beautiful day.